Welcome back to SoulHubFeels. And this episode right here is one I've really wanted to talk about, because this one is fairly recently and very agitating on many levels. So, I just to be clear, I do not think that all Ace Hardwares are like this one. I think I just happened to pick one where one bad apple ruined the experience for everybody. Or mostly everybody, in a way. So, where do I even start? I got the job. I was really happy about it. The problem here was the store manager, and he hired me on almost right away. Was very happy with me and excited about me. I quickly found out he was actually excited about another guy that got hired at the same time as me. And he was way more excited about this other guy and very, verbally said that. He was more excited about this other person. Now, this other person comes in and they call in a lot. They didn't last long. And about 4 people go through before I am let go. Now, I wasn't even there for that long. Just reminder, I was only there for maybe 4 or 5 months at most. And I thought I worked really hard, and I thought I was doing a great job. And I even got compliments from him at times. And then I'd ask the questions that seemed right. If I didn't know, I would ask, because I wanted the customer to leave well. I've always been very, very good at customer service, and that's mainly because of Walmart, to be honest. I've got a lot of, I'm one of those people that if I go into a store, this is the way I want to be treated kind of people. So when I work at a place like that's how I want to be treated. The golden rule, Fallout show, Now, this boss started really striking me about the last month and a half, 2 months I was there, as being sort of a jerk, we'll say. I can think of another few words to say, but we'll just say jerk. The sexism was a huge thing. The way he would hire people, and talk about them. And remember, I'm not important. I'm considered a peon. He's a store manager, and then I got a manager that was over me, but he would never clarify her as a manager. So there was a point in time where we had some trouble with that, and we both got pulled into the office. And, I had to state, well, is this person a manager or not a manager? If they're the same as me and they're telling me something, but I believe this is right, and they believe that's right, well, I'm going to do what I believe is right. And if I'm wrong, I can take the blame for that. That's okay. But if that's the manager and they're telling me this is the way they need to do it, well, then who am I? Who am I to step in the way? And it's all because she's a female. And this store manager, who was male, just loved hiring these females, but then would totally, if they were older, he'd crap on them because he wants the young women to look at, and he made it so apparent of that's what he wanted to do. And it was disgusting watching and listening to it. And then being the person behind the scenes listening to it, and then he'd hired some guys too, and be like, yeah, we got to hire these. We got to hire these guys to do all the work. Essentially, is what he said. He said, I need to hire the guys so that the heavy stuff can be lifted. So we can get, and I do get where he's coming from, but at the same time, it comes across a little sexist, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Am I wrong? And then he was requiring me to be there on certain days that were agreed upon that I'd have off, like Sunday for church. I really wanted Sundays off so that I could start attending church to see if I could have a relationship with God, and this is my own, if I could do that. But that's kind of that'll probably be a video on a different day. I'm not going to dive too deep into that right now. Sorry, still coming back from being sick. So there's a lot of sexism wrong, a lot of judgmental stuff. He was talking about people being fat, and if they had like a criminal record, he wouldn't hire them, or if he thought anything was wrong with them, if basically, and I hate to say this, if you were not like a pretty in shape white gentleman, he wasn't going to hire you. And this is all based off of stuff he said. Openly, and then it's just ridiculous. And he got in an argument with a customer. I was told the story about him getting in an argument with a customer and yelling at the customer, telling them they were wrong. And I like I said, I really think I just went to the wrong store. I don't think the whole Ace Hardware franchise, or whatever you want to call it, is like this. This Ace Hardware was privately owned too, just by the way. So all they did was use the Ace Hardware name. It wasn't an actual Ace Hardware per se. I did like the people that worked there for the most part. The one female manager, not manager, whatever, she was really cool. She quit soon after me for basically the issues that I've said in this video. And the way he treats people is just disgusting. There's another gentleman there. He's very great about answering questions and helping me, and he does go back with the manager, so I think he has some problems there where he needs to choose his morals a little better, because it might be your friend, but sometimes you got to correct your friends. I've had to do it with my roommate that could easily put me on the street if he wanted to. So sometimes you got to do it. You got to correct your friends and make sure they're doing the right thing. But in the end here, he ended up pulling me into the office and firing me. And the reason he fired me, I, it still sounds stupid to this day. This is what he pulled me into office for. I'm trying to remember the exact words he said. He pulled me in the office and basically said, "You take too long with the customers, so I have to let you go." And I remember looking at him and asking him in the office, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? Isn't that what my job is taking care of the customers?" "Oh, well, you stand and talk to them too long about what they want and need, what it's used for, what they're doing. What I mean, are they patching a boat, or are they patching? If they just ask for a patch, I don't know what they're patching. Are they patching a hole in the wall? Are they patching the side of a boat? I don't know what they're patching. Sometimes you need some details in there, you know." And he never did tell me any other reason other than that of why he was letting me go. So and it's fine, whatever. I can let that go, but it the whole thing was absolutely disgusting. This man should not be a manager and should not be working. He he is kind of senile, to be fair. I don't know if that adds any fairness in there, but you could tell he's on like the edge. Like his memory and stuff's kind of starting to go. He's old. I don't know how old he is, but he's old. And you can tell that memory's starting to kind of wander. Not too far where the morals aren't there, but it's pretty disgusting. And I will say, I this is I did make a fair mistake at Ace that I shouldn't have done, but I did. And that was, there was a cashier that got hired, and her and I kind of hit it off very well. And I think I do kind of feel as if this was a part of the firing. We hit it off really well, and there was, we went and I'm not even gonna lie, we slept together, whatever, and there was about a week later where there was a weird switch where you could tell something changed. Not sure why. It's like the day before we were happy-go-lucky, good friends, and then the next day it was like, "You're effing stupid. Get away from me." So I really don't know what happened there. So yeah, I just don't know what happened with that. I don't know if he played a role in that or not, but I felt like it could be something. I don't know why he wouldn't just say that's the reason why in the firing. It's not like he's definitely not one of those guys that would like hold back something like that. In fact, he'd definitely let that rip. um, but anyways, that's my whole experience at Ace Hardware. That boss is just, yeah, I don't know. The whole experience at that store was bogus. Um, I also wanted to talk to the gentleman that owns the store after I got fired so that I could, you know, talk about the whole firing and like, I couldn't. The store manager, I literally said, I want his no. I asked him straight up. I said, I want his number. I want his number. I want to be able to call him. And he said no. He just said no. And I left. Returned my vest a few days later when he wasn't there, and went on throughout my day. So it is what it is now. It's in the past, and I have a better job because of it. So I can't complain at all. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeah, that Ace Hardware, that store. The rest of the Aces are probably a lot better. We just had the one bad apple. Soul Hub Feels.